What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 283 of Littleroot Lessons. I'm Angelo, and I'm joined here today by the hardest working producer in Pokemon podcasting, Carl. How's it going, buddy?
It's going good. We got new format to talk about. I'm excited
We have
and
an old
upset about
format.
it. And got this to say, the new format sucks in my opinion. The old format's fun to go back to because we kind of already were going back to H thanks to all the side events at NAIC.
Yeah.
It's H. Cool. The new format is just Reg I with extra steps, I feel like. I don't think Mythicals do anything.
Yeah, and you just said it. So the new format that was announced this past week, that will be the VGC ladder. That will be not the VGC ladder, but the online ladder format from September 1st, 2025 through January 4th, 2026 is Regulation J. This is the second
way to our New Year break.
Yep. This format is the second time in VGC history where Mythicals or Pokemon official doubles history where Mythicals are legal. It will be a mythical Pokemon will be taking one of the two restricted spots. So it won't be like Series 13, which was a no holds barred, anything goes metagame. This is Mythicals allowed, but still GS Cup where it's only two Pokemon. I'm assuming that the next format for ladder after this, which will probably take us to whenever Champions comes out, will just be like the Regulation K will just end up being like the Series 13 of Generation
I wouldn't
9.
be surprised if it's just back to Reg I.
I could see that too.
Or Reg H or what Reg F or whatever they want it to be for the next little bit. Because Reg H for VGC only runs till like what?
Okay, so here's the thing. That's very and what we're saying, so the online ladder is Regulation J, which is this mythical format that's brand new. It is only played on the ranked ladder. All official VGC events, your in-person challenges, cups, regionals, and internationals that will occur during this time span will be playing Regulation H, which is the fall format of last year. That is starting in September as well, and it said until November, but then it's like it didn't give an end date. It just said until November, so could be maybe middle of November, could be late November. Who can so we could have this for 2 months, we could have this for 3 months, and then no one really knows what we're going to jump into after. It will be something on Scarlet and Violet. We do have regionals planned in early January. Much too soon for them to unless
they expedite the Champions and change the release date to like 2025, which we already know it's 2026. They told us that much, so it's not going to Champions. It has to be on Scarlet and Violet. Is it just going back and playing another old regulation? Very, very likely.
Yeah.
What it's going to be, I don't know.
We don't know yet. But that's why we will be playing Regulation H. It is a fun one to go back to, especially since we've been playing with these powerful restricted Pokemon since January. It's nice to feel like we're getting to a back to basics. So what we're going to do, at least for this episode, we're going to start off talking about the 4 mythical Pokemon that we think can hold a candle to
the Pokemon that actually might do something in this format, and then because everything else is like a pseudo legend in terms of stats, and it's not great. We could rattle off reasons why, like Mew's not going to be super.
No, I was going to say first thing we can do. Actually, let's do this. Let me just share my screen. We can go through the new Pokemon added in a moment. Okay, so we have Arceus in all of their forms, Darkrai, Deoxys,
and all of its forms,
Diancie, both the Hoopa forms, Jirachi, Keldeo in both forms that don't matter. There is no difference. There's only a cosmetic difference for Keldeo. Same with Magearna, only a cosmetic difference. Manaphy, Meloetta, Pecharunt, Theone, Shaman in both forms, Mew, Volcanion, and Zarude. And again, you can use one of these Pokemon along with a restricted, or you can just use 2 restricteds. Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, as Carl will probably get into with a few of these, or if you listeners can probably put 2 and 2 together, Miraidon kind of blows everything up still, and as you said, when looking at a lot of these restricted mons, like Keldio's a base 580, a lot of like the pick like Meloetta, Mew, Pecharunt, which Pecharunt is very, very, very physically bulky. Could be something of a stall mon, but like Jirachi, like they're base 600 mons, and then you have, as we scroll down here, so like we're adding all these like cool like Volcanian's Root, all these cool base 600 mons. Then you have the Calorex's base 680. You have like even like Koraidon 670, Kyogre 670, Miraidon 670. Like they're fine. It's honestly, if we did like a if to an extent, I think if we did like a mythical-ish format, Arceus would be the best Pokemon in the, and then like no restricteds. I think it would be interesting. But then Arceus kind of messes everything up. And in my opinion, I think Arceus will be the best of the mythicals. Arceus or Magearna, one of those two. One thing to note with multi-type is that whatever plate you're holding, that type of yes, will change it. If will change the type of the Arceus. However, if you Terra, it'll change again. So in my opinion, I suggest, in the grand scheme of things, playing Terra Normal, because you have access to Extreme Speed. This is a base 120 attack, stab, Extreme Speed that you can double down with Terra Normal. You can run Banded. I know we were always running Dragonite well, it does have a slightly higher attack stat with the 134. You lose the stab option. Arceus has the stab option that makes their extreme speed a lot stronger than Dragonite's. And again, you can double down into that offensive Terra Normal.
You'd think that would actually do significant damage to a lot of Pokemon. It's not actually that big a number. For some reason, Arceus's like attacks, like it's 120s across the board. You'd think it would do more damage. It's not really like eye popping by itself. It really, really wants that Chien-Pao next to it to take off.
And absolutely.
Like you have to have the Chien-Pao, and so the something to think about in the future, like for going forward, is just like, well, how much damage do you take from like all the random fighting coverage to the format? Because that was a very common thing in Reg I, is to have, I'll make sure you have fighting coverage somewhere, whether it's Koraidon or Drain Punch or whatever. You never will live moves from Koraidon. No. If you're invested into your offenses on your Arceus, you are in trouble. Also due to the fact that Koraidon will outspeed you unless you're clicking extreme speed.
I do think, like, if I have to guess the set that will be used the most with this, it'll probably be like Banded, Terra Normal, E-Speed spam with Chien-Pao, and you can pick up some cool KOs with that, but you are right in the sense of all of that stuff where you can just be clicking Terra, Electric, E-Drift. Which, you know,
the fact that Miraidon and Koraidon, I think, can outspeed you without being anywhere near max speed invest is really, really important. Because you're going to want to invest in either probably your attack or your special attack, depending on what you're doing with your Arceus. Because 120 speed isn't getting you to anywhere near the breakpoints anyway. No. I think 120 gets you to 2 points faster than max speed modest Koraidon / Miraidon. So you're 2 points faster than the max speed no nature versions of Miraidon.
And a lot of times, especially Koraidon, they're just running Jolly because they're
going to be Jolly. Because they're already in the speed wars of 135 is the baseline. You have to make sure you're in and around that area, whether it's Scarf Miraidon or Jolly Koraidon. So you're already really behind the 8 ball if you're trying to go speedy fast Arceus. So I think you have to run Adamant, or you have to run modest or whatever you're doing, whether you're doing judgment or etc. things with your Arceus.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough being Arceus because there's just great fighting coverage, and if you take an Intimidate, you're already like really behind. Start to get really behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. Now, a Pokemon that likes seeing fighting types, and this is just a neat one, Deoxys Attack. Really, as you mentioned before, Carl, this is a Pokemon that speed ties with Calyrex Shadow. The only Pokemon in this format that does that. Along with those very large numbers at special attack and attack, so you could go at this both ways. You will be running a Focus Sash because with base 50, 20, and 20 defenses, a baby's cough will knock it out.
Yeah, you aren't really meant to take hits, which is fine. You get to run an item on your Pokemon, and that's a good thing, right? Like,
yeah.
Versus some Pokemon not being able to run an item.
Now, there are multiple ways to go at this. You do have the access of E-Speed as well, so maybe you can do the Terra Normal E-Speed thing here. Like, you have a lot of great coverage. On the special side, Dark Pulse Energy Ball, Expanding Force, Flash Cannon, Grass Knot, Ice Beam, really fast Icy Winds, and physically you have Knockoff, Low Kick, all the Elemental Punches, Extreme Speed, as we already said. Trying to see what.
Notably, the Terra Normal's probably the smart play with the extreme.
I'm trying to see what is your physical psychic move.
Psycho Cut, Zen Headbutt.
It's Zen Headbutt. Oh god, that's so miserable. That sucks so much.
I'm surprised we don't have like Psycho Cut.
Did I miss it? No, it's yeah. And then you also have Psycho Boost as I think that's the signature move. It is just Psychic type Overheat. Like base 140, 90 accuracy, you go -2 for using it. Really what's nice with this Mon is again, it's a Mon you can use that isn't Calyrex Shadow that could a coin flip speed tie into a Calyrex Shadow. And with that also being said, you outspeed everything else in the format that's non-scarfed.
Yeah, I was like looking at it. You also don't really have to be that Psychic Stab.
Yeah,
Psychic as a coverage type isn't super like great for coverage.
I mean, like it's good into hands. It's good into like you like it into hands. Waterfoo and Koraidon, I think those are important Pokemon. And, of course, Amoonguss. I think those are important Pokemon that are popular enough where the psychic coverage is really good. But, again, it's like outside of like that, you're generally not going to be clicking psychic coverage outside of the fact like it's good. This is probably, I think, honestly, its best psychic coverage more than anything, if you're going on the special side, would be as an Expanding Force bot, which is also what Hoopa Unbound can do as well, with its base 170 special attack, along with a, very hefty 130 base special defense. And one of the things it has a really cool ability that it shares with Delphox. Why? I didn't remember that, but apparently we did a video with that at some point. What year it was, who can say?
A while ago.
It was actually, now that I think of it, was probably like, if it was a Delphox video, it probably was Reg H last year. Magician is an ability where if the Pokemon attacking like Hoopa Unbound has no item, it'll steal the item off of a Pokemon it hits with an attack. So you can run this next to Indeedee with Psychic Seed. The Seed procs, which will bring your special defense from 150 to 225, and that's with 0 invest. So 200, and that's like the stat. So a 225 stat special defense with that Psychic Seed. And now you can also go and spam an Expanding Force and take away someone's item, like take away their Clear Amulet that they need to stop Intimidate spam, take away like a choice item that they need to be fast or do more damage, a Life Orb, so on and so forth. I think it's neat in that sense. Again, do I think it's great? Probably not. But one of the things it can do is this is one of the Pokemon that can live into like this is one of the few Pokemon that can live like a neutral like Electro Drift, or at least I think it should.
It does. With the 130 base special defense,
it should. But Miraidon's a dumb Pokemon, and yeah,
it's without even investing in anything. It's 76 to 90 from Timid,
and then you throw in the
Modest. You live 100% of the time, still no invest.
Yeah, and you also throw the seed on top of that, and there are some other cool moves here. We do a foul play. We have Hyperspace Fury, which is a physical attack. You do have a base 160 physical offense, which is neat as well. What the Hyperspace Fury does, it's a base 100 base 100 attack that will always hit, like it'll always pass the accuracy check. It also lowers the user's defense by 1, but it will break through protect. So that is another move that's pretty neat. Especially as a dark type move, so you can really like get into a Lunala or a Calyrex that want to protect in front of you. You get knockoff. You get, what else do you get? You do a Trick Room, which your base 80, which is, while not super slow enough for Trick Room in a restricted legal format.
Like in a restricted legal format, you're still like a Trick Room.
Yeah,
like you can still potentially like do stuff with Trick Room on this Pokemon.
You also get Hyperspace Hole, which is a base 80 special attack that also breaks the target's protect. So you have 2 different attacks that can break protect.
Which is super good in this doubles format, because Reg I was just like, it's a lot of protecting and pivoting.
Yep.
So like moves that will just break through protect or else like that still deal significant damage are still really good.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the truth. I actually didn't know that Hoopa had 2 attacks that could break protect.
I knew both hyperspace moves broke protect.
I saw this.
That was the whole gimmick.
Yeah,
was the portals and jumping around.
Okay. I mean, I see that. I did not know much about that. I just knew it had like a just disgusting offensive stats, and was a psychic dark type. The last.
Yeah.
You want anything else on Hoopa?
It's Hoopa Unbound is the Pokemon we're focusing on usually are the ones that have like the stat totals that are just slightly higher than 600. Or have such egregious stat like splits that are just like really like it's so good at that point. Magearna is probably the 1/600 Pokemon that's fine because its ability is busted.
And even like the stat spread, like base 80, 115 defenses are really good. Base 130 special attack, base 65 speed. This is the perfect Trick Room Pokemon.
Like you pair this on your Calyrex Ice teams now.
Yeah.
You can play Calyrex Ice. This is the perfect like pairing.
Yeah, this is a great like hard Trick Room mode, or like we saw some people like just use it as a TR mode with like a Sun mode. So you have you go at it where like your fast modes via Koraidon, your slow modes with Magearna, and you're saying, okay, what does this Magearna do? So Soul Heart is an ability that when a Pokemon faints, Magearna's special attack will be raised by 1 stage. Any Pokemon. So your opponents. So like you can
it has to do is be on the field to see it.
Yeah. So you can you can use your Scarf Final Gambit Annihilate, dump Final Gambit into a Pokemon, and not only do you trade the 1-for-1 in terms of Mons with your opponent, but your Magearna also gets a Nasty Plot boost without having to do anything, just for existing. Offensive. Now you get Trick Room with this Pokemon. Offensively, you have a lot of Steel and Fairy coverage, which is very good together. Your signature move, you aren't going to use as much Fleur Cannon.
It's not great when it's like non-Dynamax formats. That was the move you used in Dynamax because that was just like it was that good.
The strong move,
base 130. It was a base like 150. It's a real strong move. In this format, you probably just use Dazzling Gleam.
Yep. Yeah, you have Dazzling Gleam. You have that. You have Flash Cannon. You do have some because you are mechanic, you do get some really neat electric attacks. You get access to Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Thunder Wave. Again, Trick Room. You have Trick, which is nice. But in the grand scheme of things, you're probably just going to be running like Flash Cannon, D-Gleam, Protect,
Ice Spinner is neat. Ice Beam is neat.
Yeah. Helping Hand. Down here. I didn't even know this was an attack. Did you know what first of all, did you know that
Yep, I do.
Raises defense and special defense of allies with plus or minus. Like, who great tech for your plus or minus team.
Or your Dedenne, or...
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I think this is just like a neat mon. Again, I think when you see it, you probably will see D-Gleam, Flash Cannon, Protect, Trick Room.
You're going to see this a lot on ladder next to Regieleki, and Regieleki is going to go Terra Normal blow up a lot of the time, and they're going to laugh at you, and all you got to do is just click Protect, and you're fine. Or have like your Ghost type out in the field.
Click Terra Ghost, I think I think it would be great next to Follow Me Mons, again, to not only keep it safe, but the amount of times that your Follow Me Mon gets knocked out.
Yeah, there's also just the Follow Me.exe Pokemon that are just like Indeedee, and then Electabuzz or something, and then Magmar, and everything's just getting knocked out while Magearna sits there and boosts itself up while taking out your opponent.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, that pretty much covered it. Deoxys Speed was the other version, like, that was notable, mostly due to the fact that it's 180. It actually outspeeds everything. It is the fastest Pokemon in the like we want to play with probably for these mythicals. Volcanion's not great.
I was going to say, Volcanion.
It's not great.
Because it is week 2 Miraidon, folks. Say it with us.
Yeah, you can
to Electro Drift.
You're like, the best Terra type for Volcanion, funny enough, is Terra Ground. Just like with the way Fire, Water work as like weaknesses together, Ground is actually a really good just like Terra type for it. Because it hits everything that wants to hit ground. So so it actually just like, it works out that all your coverage, you're like a water absorbed ground type, and so you hit all the grass, all the ice. It's just like no problem. You have Scald. It's really cool. It's just, it doesn't do enough on its own to warrant that slot. And like Keldeo, Meloetta, Fione, Manaphy, Jirachi, Mew, Deontay. No. Deontay is literally just Carbink with more offense stats. That's literally all it is.
We'll see Deontay in like 5 years when we get like Mega Evolution mythical format, and it can finally use its Mega Stone. Actually, that is my other So yeah, that's really it. I'm going to. I already said this in the.
Sky Shaman was really, really cool, but it's not fast enough.
We'll get back to this. Give me a second.
Sky Shaman was the other one. It's cool, but you really you just needed like 9 more points in speed.
What does Sky Shaman's signature move?
Oh, it was just the fact that you were just like a
that you were flying grass type.
Tailwind. You were a fast Tailwind one.
Oh, well, that's neat.
With like
base 127 is actually pretty good, but yeah, you under speed.
When the max is when your cap is like 135, like you're just not fast.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is cool. Then I'm like, okay,
because it's 120 special attack and 100 HP. It's like, it's decent. It could take a hit and it'll deal some damage back. It's just, you're not fast enough to really hit things before they hit in this format.
Yeah.
Well, the Serene Grace was cute. Tailwind, Seed Flare is the signature move. It's fine. It's not anything crazy over the top.
Yeah. So, I mean, I already said this in the server. In the grand scheme of things, I do not see myself playing. Like, the only way I will be playing Regulation J is if it's the GC format and I want to play in a GC. And I
will be skipping GCs if they're J. I do not find.
I was going to say, fun. Yeah, I could also probably do that. I also don't think they're going to be.
I would rather play H. Since they gave us the option, I would rather play H.
Yeah.
H is a lot more fun to me.
It's significantly, and I will say that even though it is the live format, the on cards like official format in that sense, we do have historical precedent of the ladder format and whatever TPCI wants to be the official format, even on online events, to be different. An example of this is back in 2020 when we were playing Series 6, which was the ban list format. For like that September, which was the first month of Series 6, was also the qualifier for Players Cup 2, which was another, again, GC-esque ladder tournament. And we played that playing Series 5, which was the Galar decks plus the Isle of Armor decks, minus the 2 box legendaries and Eternatus. So, like, even though your practice, quote unquote, would be played on the ladder with Series 6, you were really practicing on Showdown and getting ready for Series 5.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things right now running around like VGC Twitter and stuff. People are trying to come up with what the ladder code will be just for like looking for friendly battles for Regulation H for best of 1 stuff. They're saying that the code 2025-2026 is the one that's popping up.
That's the one that's been sticking around so far. So
yeah, I saw that Moxie tweeted it out. So that's probably the way to get on cart practice. That isn't just like going to a friend group or going with your locals. So if you want to just get games in on cart with that isn't waiting for the next Limitless tour, that's the way to do it. And while you're waiting, I think one of the things we should do is a little refresher. Like, what did we miss? Again, it's been 8 months since we've really covered this format. And it's a lot different. So what I went and did, I put together a list of about a dozen teams that were seeing success towards the tail end of Regulation H. So most of these teams are teams that succeeded in Stuttgart or Toronto, which were 2 of the last events. And we're just going to go over them. We have the open team sheets for a lot of these. And first of all, thank you, Tim from Lab Mouse, for putting this together, because you can just toggle top teams at a certain time period, and it just does all the work for you pretty much.
I gotta say, it makes it easy because it's a running database.
Made my life so much easier. So the first team, this is the friendly favorite. We all know this. This is the Pelipper Archrain team that really dominated Regulation H the entirety of the meta. When it was announced, everyone's like, oh yeah, Archrain's going to be good. And unlike other times in VGC history where the player base thought something would be really good or quote unquote too broken to start, and it ended up being crap by week 3. Yeah, we got it right this time.
This one's team, really good.
This is a legitimately like insane team.
This one's fun because it's like the other teams that are good, like all rely on like a lot of like some balance or sneasler stuff, and this team just really just put the way it positions itself. It really wants to play those balance teams, the sneasler teams, and things like that.
And also, like, it is balanced in itself. Yeah. You have your water, fire, grass. Like any team with Incineroar in the background like this, it is a balanced team. But then you have the double water with Pelipper Basque. Archaludon and Goldango give you 2 steel types. The Goldango is really great at punishing Sneaslers that aren't carrying dark type coverage, because it can't touch the Goldango at all.
Yeah, just can't touch you. So you just literally just get to sit there, free nasty plot while they pivot around, and then you just start making it rain.
Yep. Your speed control on this team is the Tailwind on Pelipper. And of course,
Swift Swim on Basket Legion.
Yep. And of course, Archaludon is the star of the show. It's why I think this team is so powerful compared to previous rain teams from Scarlet and Violet. It's with between stamina and electro shot, you're able to bulk up your defense, and to an extent, like, the stamina makes you punishes your opponent for targeting it, because if it takes too many hits, well, then it just, gets a pollen puff into it, and now all of a sudden
you have super bulky.
But if you ignore it, it's going to get +1s to its offense on Electro Shot
Yep.
and just demolish you.
There's no like happy medium of, unless you're just like really interactive with it, where it's just like, oh, I take away the weather, Electroshock doesn't do as much damage, like doesn't get to do its thing now. So now I just hit it with a special attack twice and I take care of it pretty clean. Like, that's and usually the trade-off.
Yep. Yeah, this is something where it's like, it never went away. It's going to, like, some of the pieces around with Rain might change. We're going to be showing a couple other Rain comps, like, outside of this. Mm-hmm. But I'd say this is, like, the main 6. Like, if anything, if you were looking for your main core, I'd say Arch, Peli, Amoonguss, Incin. These last 2 spots here of Basculegion and Goldango on the generic Rain team.
I would almost argue Basculegion's a must at this point. Your Pelipper as a water type isn't really a true water type.
I think you could probably, like, I don't think you should. I think Basculegion's a really, really powerful Pokemon.
I don't know if there's a different water type you want to be playing in that slot. Like, legitimately.
If you want, like, a fairy type Azumarill, and that's really it, I think.
You need that Swift Swim.
Yeah.
You need that Swift Swim in this format. Like,
and then like the Goldango spot can switch around, but one of the things you will also realize,
that's probably the flex spot is the Goldango.
And part of it with Goldango as well is it's like the 3 main steel types in this format, in Arch, Goldango, and Kingambit, which you're going to see a lot of these Pokemon, especially a lot of Goldango, a lot of Kingambit. They're just so insanely powerful for this format due to their high stat total. Like, their spread is perfect.
They're all immune to Dire Claw.
Yeah, they're all immune to Dire Claw, which
that's the main reason why these steel types are so popular, is they're all immune to Dire Claw. It's built-in Sneasler mitigation.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll get there. But one of the things we'll do, not my list, this won't be in order on my list, but we're going to go, I'm going to just do something real quick to make it so that I know what I talked about. We're going to bounce around a little, and we're going to stick with this Rain, and we're going to show you, again, one of the other ways to play Rain. This was popping up again towards the latter portion of the format. This specific team is from Austin Choi, but we saw this earlier. I believe, I can't remember who it was, but I believe this team also came in second place, or at least this archetype came in second place at LAIC. This is using the Incin, Pelipper, Arch, Rain Core, along with Dragonite, Sinistra, and Ursaluna. The Sinistra and Ursaluna forming a really potent, like, Trick Room core to go with this. What this team is really doing here is you're taking the biggest stat beat sticks in the format in Hisui and Ursaluna, Dragonite, and Arch, and you're supporting them with a Fire, Water, Grass. The Pelipper really, really makes Arch very powerful, along with taking away the fire weakness that Sinistra has. Incin's Incin, and Sinistra's really awesome because you have the Flame Orb dealing damage residually to the Ursaluna, and Arch also can't protect, so having a mon that can redirect, use Life Dew to heal up about 25%, and also set Trick Room for them, and give them another 25% with the Hospitality. It's just super, super useful. Dragonite, I think, is just one of the best Pokemon in the format. This set became almost the standard set.
This is the Mirror Breaker set, because it's the Haze, Tailwind, Scale Shot.
Yep. And Haze, Tailwind, Scale Shot, Protect, Loaded Dice, Multi-Scale Dragonite is the norm. The set you see on your screen is Terra Steel. Terra Fairy is more common, but I mean, the Steel is also really great here because, again, you have the Pelipper here, and that takes away that fire weakness, so that's one less weakness the Dragonite has, while still resisting the other Dragon-type attacks that it'll be facing. I think this was a really neat way to play Rain. I know that a few people, I believe for a point in the format, Chase Mateo was using this 6 before switching back to the more standard Rain team that we showed. But, this is a very potent team. Ursaluna is one of the best offensive threats in the entire format, and it also has between Pelipper and Dragonite, 2 Pokemon to click Earthquake next to, the Sinistcha being able to set the Trick Room up for it. It's just really, really, really awesome. And it's also not really the last time you see Ursaluna of either form in this discussion.
Yeah. Ursaluna was really good in Age. Who knew?
Yeah. The last Rain team we're going over is a Rain team that is very familiar. It is Wolfecon Parish.
So this one's about as much a Rain team as like it is a Parish team. It's more Parish.
It's just 1000% more Parish.
It's just we have the Rain, like our Parish user that we wanted to use just happens to be Politoed, who sets the Rain for our Archaludon, so we get to play a fair game and an unfair game.
I think that people will try to run this, or at least develop on it, because Wolf did so well with it. I think one of the things that it did do is it did help us, because in Wolf's very long Toronto video, he talked about how Basculegion was supposed to make so much sense, they just never clicked for this team. And the Kingdra clicked and just worked with it a lot better. And like the Stellar Draco Meteors and the Stellar Weather Balls were a lot more useful for this 6 than what Basculegion was able to do. And so maybe that's another thing on like these standard Rain teams. Maybe you see them look at the Kingdra as a Swift Swim user over the Basculegion as an option. That could be like a meta development that comes from this 6. With that being...
the reason Kingdra is so important versus the Basculegion, the Basculegion
wants it's
the Basculegion you play. It's a choice band locked in, going to do this move every time kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's it. The Basculegion on that Rain team is the cleanup. It is your backline. It comes in after your Archaludon has whittled down everything and they took out your Archaludon. Basculegion comes in, bang, 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 cleans everything up. Kingdra is a little bit more of a, you probably want to kind of sit there with this.
You can click Protect is the main thing.
You can click Protect, yeah, that's the big thing. Is like you're not locked into Last Respects or Wave Crash or Liquidation or whatever your Basculegion is clicking. It's a much better like pivoter as well alongside all these things. Being the Water Dragon typing is really good, just like defensively, just like you pick up a lot of resists being a dragon. So
it's only weak to ice. No, like, not ice. It's only weak to
fairy.
I'm sorry, dragon and fairy are the only two.
Weak to dragon and fairy, and the dragon in the room, the main dragon is Archaludon.
Yeah.
And most of the time they're dropping that dragon coverage for Snarl because they're already running steel coverage, body press, electroshot. Usually they drop that dragon coverage for Snarl. And so what's the Archaludon going to do outside of electroshot you a couple times while you're sitting there clicking Draco Meteor into them?
Another really neat thing I do like about the Kingdra as using Weather Ball as the single target water type attack is that when you do use the Stellar Terra with it, if your opponent changes the weather, it also changes the type of your Weather Ball, which means you can use Weather Ball in the rain, get the water boost, and then they send out a Torkoal, and now all of a sudden your Stellar Terra on Weather Ball is live again as a fire type attack. And we saw this when Wolfie with Wolfecon Parish played against our next team, Marco Silva. His honestly insanely dominant, what I'm calling like the Marco Silva Sun team. And of course, Joe Ugarte was running a similar team using Jump Pluff and Torkoal. With some differences. I know Joe liked Garchomp over the Ursaluna, and Typhlosion over the Charizard, but like Marco ran this 6 at multiple regionals, at NAIC, at LAIC, and I think like the 3 majors we saw him run this 6, he came in 2nd, 1st, and 2nd.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly am shocked that by the end of the format, there wasn't as much sun. Going in, I think that this is a team that we should be seeing, even though we just spent so much time talking about rain, we should see more sun, because this is a very, very, very potent and aggressive hyper offensive team. Charizard's base 100 is actually really fast in this. Like, base 100 is legitimately fast in this format.
Yeah, I'm about to say, since we lose like all the Paradox Mons and the Ruin Mons,
no
what we were talking about in Reg J, where the speed like you want to be hitting like in that 135 range for base. I think the fastest thing in this format is
Dragapult.
Dragapult, like, so you just like, and Dragapult wasn't like over the moon amazing in this format, but it was still good.
It was really powerful at the start of the format and then fell off.
Everybody was just doing the choice band, just punch things.
Yeah, I think one of the things is that, and one of the things that we have noted with pretty much every team that we've shown so far, I mean, they've all, like, it's been redirection, and there's a lot of redirection in this format, and there's a lot of different redirectors. It's not just Amoonguss. Like, we've already seen Amoonguss, we've seen Sinistra, we have Jumpluff here, and the Jumpluff is the real menace of this team, in my opinion. Because not only, I mean, yes, the Charizard and the Ursaluna, we know what they do. They blow stuff up. The Torkoal with Eject Pack is just that pure support set. Incin's Incin. Porygon 2 plays really well with the Ursaluna. We'll be talking about these two later as well.
Yeah, we'll be talking about them a lot.
Yeah. P2 is really awesome. It's super bulky. It's the most reliable Trick Room setter in the entire format. Terra Blast is really cool with the Porygon because, for multiple reasons. The first is it gives you normal stab that can then match the stab of your Terra type. We're going Terra Fighting here, which is the most common Terra type due to the number of normal types and Steel types in this format. The Bears, Gambit, Arch. There's a lot, even Instant, there's a lot of fighting weak Mons in this format.
Yeah, fighting was a very safe type to Terra into because there was less fairies in the format.
Yep.
And so when fighting eventually effectively only just then your only weaknesses are psychic and like flying, and neither of those were also very popular.
No.
So it's like fighting was just always a very safe Terra type for Porygon in this format because you just get to hit everything and you don't really take super effective damage from everything. Meaning you get to your recover means more now. And
one of the other nice things with it is if download gives you an attack boost, Terra Blast will match the higher stat of your two offensive stats. So if you did get the attack boost on download and you Terra'd, now you can do the physical Terra Blast, which will be your highest.
Notably, it's only on Terra. It's not just like when you're just in normal mode. Normal mode, not Terra. Terra Blast is a normal base 80 special attack every time.
Yep. Yeah, but once you Terra, you can actually like use that download boost. There's even been people where when they wanted to run like zero invest in their Porygon 2, they would take those 4 extra stat points and actually put them in the attack stat.
Yep.
Because the download boost, it will be useful. But again, this Jumpluff here, we're just talking about speed tiers. Again, the fastest natural speed Pokemon is Dragapult. But there are a few Pokemon that get a lot faster with their abilities. Jumpluff is one of them with his Chlorophyll ability, doubling the speed. And doubling the speed to either get a Tailwind up to make sure that your Charizard, hell, even this Ursaluna ran a little speed to outspeed a lot of like the mid-speed threats under Tailwind, so you can actually play this Ursaluna in both Tailwind and Trick Room. But really, it's the Sleep Powder spam.
I'm trying to think what the number was, because you didn't run max speed. You didn't have to run max speed Jumpluff. You got to run a little bit bulkier, and I can't remember what the speed number was.
I think
I don't remember what we were always trying to hit, because you were already well past the number for Dragapult.
So yeah, it was you would run 196 timid.
Yeah, that's the number.
And that would hit 340.
Yeah.
And the reason why you did that is, one moment, because we haven't hit this Pokemon yet. But no, you never outspeed, so you did that, no, you never outsped max speed Sneasler with a burden.
But at the time it was,
But like even then, it's like I mean, if the Sneasler's attacking into you, it's going to knock you out anyway. With you probably aren't taking the Dire Claw, but yeah, you would run 196. You would hit 340, which pretty much again outsped almost everything else in the format, and then you were able to run like a lot of HP. You were able to dump some defense into there, make it a Pokemon that could again just stay relatively bulky, relative bulky for a jump bluff, and 70% of the time it works every time, or 75, whatever it is for Sleep Powder, and yeah, it like there would be games that could be won or like you could win because their biggest threat just ate a Sleep Powder before it could even react. And now they're trying to get their Pokemon in position or trying to play around the Sleep Powder. And your Charizard's in the back, and you're just clicking like Heat Wave with Choice Specs and Solar Power Sun Boost, and you're blowing up everything.
Yep.
So we have a few paths we can go with, Carl. Do you want to go? We have I will say this: we have a lot of different teams. We have 8 more to go. Do you want to go more hyper offense? Do you want to go more balance?
Let's knock out these hyper offense things because the balance ones I feel like will be mostly the same.
In most cases, yes. Okay, first hyper offense. This I believe is one of the premier hyper offense teams that came out of
there's a Sneasler
of the format. And yes, this is the first time we're seeing Sneasler, which is going to still be one of the most, if not the most used Pokemon in the format. This sort of hyper offense team has a lot of really, really powerful and complementary leads. Sneasler plus Indeedee is unbelievable. Now, and note that this is Indeedee male. The Psychic Surge will proc Sneasler Psychic Seed, making it the fastest Pokemon in the entire format. This Sneasler is using the 3 attacks, so Close Combat and Dire Claw are 2 attacks you'll see on every Sneasler. You know what they do, and you probably hate them just as much as I do.
They're great.
The Close Combat, yes. Dire Claw, no. Prison.
I love Dire Claw.
Throat Chop is a move that is again, it's your tech move to make sure that Pokemon like Goldango don't completely wall you. And one of the things Sneasler doesn't like seeing, Indeed isn't like seeing fighting types. Sneasler goes and blows those up with Close Combat. Indeedee does have Trick Room, but it's more so like to turn Trick Room off.
We don't really use it to actually do it.
Yeah.
The big thing is just like we are a expanding force psychic type that's just going to click. You could tear this occasionally and pick up KOs with the expanding force, which is super duper neat.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times you're just like clicking Helping Hand and expanding force just to chip things down.
Yep. Another really awesome lead in this format is Electabuzz and Ursaluna. Again, we're seeing a lot of different redirectors. This is our 4th different redirection Pokemon, our first Follow Me Mon that we've seen. Electabuzz has Vital Spirit, which is an ability that doesn't let it fall asleep. Yep. Also, with it being an electric type, it also can't be paralyzed. So this is one of the Pokemon that actually is really great into Sneasler, because Sneasler's Dire Claw can only poison it.
Yep.
Which is still bad, but compared to being paralyzed or put to sleep,
how about to say, compared to being put to sleep or paralyzed, it's fine. Plus, with your poison, you can still keep redirecting those Dire Claws. You can just still keep doing them. It's fine.
Yeah. This next to Blood Moon Ursaluna, and just clicking, because I am the Blood Moon Ursaluna connoisseur, having a Follow Me Mon and then just clicking freaking like Terra Normal, Life Orb, Hyper Voice, or Blood Moon, awesome, euphoric, just amazing, love it. And this duo here, Electabuzz and Ursaluna, is again one of the most potent leads that you will see in the entire format in terms of immediate offensive pressure. And then, of course, Incineroar. Talonflame is here as your 3rd mode of speed control, along with the Trick Room and the Electro Web on the Electabuzz. The Tailwind is the most direct form of those 3. This one's running dual Wing Beat, and that was a tech that was picked up later on in the format, specifically for the Sneaslers that would be Focus Sash, instead of this one again is Psychic Seed, so the dual Wing Beat would be great into this Sneasler as well. And then you'll have Will-O-Wisp and Flare Blitz. This is one of the premier hyper offensive teams that really popped off. It is I'd say this 6 is generally set, but there are some different ways to go at playing it, including this team here that was ran by Chuppa Cross and Marcus Dion at Toronto. They both finished top 8. I actually believe Marcus finished top 4. And the main differences here are...
That's the NDD I remember, is the Trick Scarf one. That's the one I remember.
So this is Trick Scarf with Protect, so you'd still be able to protect. Sneasler's the same, Blood Moon's the same. The main differences here, first off, instead of using the Electabuzz, you're using this Volcarona with Citrus Berry as a all-in-one redirection, damage mitigation with Struggle Bug, Tailwind Bond. Yep, so count it. 5 redirectors now.
There's more. We're not done yet. We still got a couple popular ones and unpopular ones.
Yep. Tyranitar is an unbelievable meta, anti-Metamon. Weather is absolutely massive. At Toronto, 10 of the top 16 teams had a weather setter on it, and all 4 weathers were represented. So we will be seeing some snow setters a snow setter later on in the video as well. What Tyranitar does is it's all-encompassing anti-weather. It's always been like the anti-weather Weathermon in the sense of
nothing else but it likes sand.
Yes, and of course, you can run dedicated sand teams, and we've seen dedicated sand teams win. We had one win a European regional in Regulation H.
Yep.
But it does nothing else here really. The Ursaluna and the Annihilate aren't affected by the sand because the Annihilate safety goggles,
and the Ursaluna ground type.
Yep. So it's just turning off your opponent's weather. All of the other weather setters as well are weak to rock. So having Stab Rock Slide is really, really useful to punish the...
I think it's all but Politoed.
All but Politoed. But you'll only see Politoed on the
Volcon Parish team.
All of the other teams.
I think you'll see Pelipper more than you see Politoed.
Yeah. So again, Pelipper's weak to Rock Slide. Torkoal's weak to Rock Slide. Ninetales A is weak to Rock Slide. So it's just
regular Ninetales is weak to Rock Slide.
That too.
I was supposed to say, I think Politoed is actually currently the only weather setter that's not weak to rock. I think
Abomasnow
still weak to rock. Ice.
I thought grass resisted rock.
Nope.
Well, learn something new every day, folks.
Grass resisted ground.
Oh,
that's what you're thinking of.
Might as well be the same type, but they aren't.
They're not.
No, they're not. But yeah, T-Tar's great. This Annihilate is also really great. One of the things we saw towards the end of this format is Annihilate moving away from being next to, being this bulk up, setup mon. These Annihilates are, in most cases, max HP, max speed, with Final Gambit, close combat.
Get you.
Yeah, the Final Gambit's going to get you. You're going to get got by the Gambit. A lot of times as well with this Annihilate, we would see it with a Focus Sash and Stellar Terra instead of the Terra Fairy goggles here. The reason why you don't see the Focus Sash is because there's a Tyranitar, and that Focus Sash will last 1 turn.
The goggles also means Amoonguss can't redirect you. So.
Yep.
That was a big counterplay to the Final Gambit Annihilate stuff. Is you just get Rage Powder. Oh, I have to attack the Amoonguss now, and I don't KO the Amoonguss. But with the safety goggles, you get to just kind of play around that.
Yeah, this is a really cool team. Again, it was a team that kind of really only popped up once we got to Toronto, but it had 2 of the best players in North America piloting it. And both of them did insanely well. Again, 3rd and 6th place with this team. I think it's a really cool anti-meta offense team that you should really look into. And then...
Plus, it plays Volcarona. Who doesn't love Volcarona?
The last team that is, I think, kind of this more, super heavy, aggressive-ish offense. This is our First Screens team. This was a team that did well in Stuttgart. CD Badian? Badian?
I don't know. All I know is there's a Magmar on screen. I'm happy.
Yep. Magmar. 6. 6 redirectors. I actually have some experience playing this team. I was playing it in a Reg H friendly local we had about a month ago before we knew we were playing Reg H. What this is the first iteration we see of what is called the Doug offensive trio. That is Dragonite, Ursaluna, Goldango.
Yep.
This Dragonite is still the Terrasteel. It's the Terrasteel multiscale, but it's running 3 attack with Ice Spinner and Extreme Speed instead of the Tailwind or Haze as the tech support moves. Goldango's your setup mon. Ursaluna runs the Assault Vest here with a defensive Terra. This Ursaluna is a little more bulky than the Life Orb variant. Stays on the field and just puts out consistent damage. You aren't one-shotting anything, but you're two-shotting most
that's
things.
The big thing is we don't need to one-shot everything when we have the Alolan Ninetales and potential for screens. We want to sit on the field. We want to be able to take hits. We want to be able to spread more damage out, and that's what the AV set allows us to do in this format.
Yeah. And then the Annihilate is here, again, just safety goggles, bulk up, Rage Fist, Drain Punch. Like the Ape and the Goldango just really love being behind the screens that Ninetales sets.
Yep.
Again, it also gives you a weather control mon, and also acts as your speed control with Icy Wind and Disruption Mon with Encore. Now, there are a lot of other different ways you can run this 6. First of all, instead of using Flame Body as the ability, you can also use Vital Spear on the Magmar to make sure that it can stay awake in the face of Sneasler.
The downside there is you can still get paralyzed, and so you really don't want your Follow Me user to get paralyzed. So the idea there was if you can fish for the burn on the Sneasler instead, and so you're trading status for status was the idea.
If you want more direct speed control than the Icy Wind here on the Ninetales, you can tech away, whether it's usually will be Ice Spinner for Tailwind on the Dragonite.
I was about to say, you keep the extreme speed because you want to clean up sashes. Ice Spinner probably usually goes.
Mm-hmm. And the scale shot always is, especially because you're loaded dice. And then another thing that you can do with this team, which is one of my favorite things, this is what I put on my team, it's one of my favorite things to do. So I dropped the Icy Wind since I had Tailwind on my Dragonite, and I put Icicle Spear on the Ninetales to make the Ninetales Annihilate mode a real mode.
You just punch them really hard.
It's because you can one of the things you could do is with Ape Tails, you can make your opponent think, okay, do I taunt the Ninetales, stop the screens, or are they just going to self-set up and just punish me for that? Or do I just try to play for, they're going to use the self setup with the self Icicle Spear, and I'm actually setting Aurora Veil and bulking up or protecting or something.
Yeah.
So it is a little neat thing. It's linear. I was kind of throwing around team ideas today with Shawnish, and I was Ninetales, Goggles, Ape, and I really am how do I do more that isn't this 4 here? Because one of the things that does suck with this 6, in the grand scheme of things, they aren't really that great into a Trick Room team, because again, a lot of your Pokemon are just naturally fast, and there is no way to stop Trick Room on this team. There's no taunt. You would have to run Taunt Magmar.
What you could do is you swap the Magmar for Electabuzz. You
could do that.
You do the full swap. Because then you get the taunt on Electabuzz with the Electro Web, with the Follow Me, and your Vital Spirit. So you get to redirect all the things back to you.
So you can do
that's probably the answer is just the full swap of Magmar to Electabuzz.
In general, though, with this 6, I like it. I think it's good. It had a pretty good result, and it was one of the ways to play the screen's Ninetales. I'm not. I think I wouldn't be shocked if this is the team out that we discussed that we don't see, but it's something to know, and at least is something I think that's worth trying to develop on.
Yeah.
And while we talked about the Doug offense,
I'm about to say while we're on Doug, we can go to the balanced version with Doug.
This is probably the team.
This is where I know Doug. This is what I know Doug from, is this version.
So this was the final 6 of people. So Doug initially was an offensive trio that was like a very popular in Japan, and as the format developed, like this six for balance came to play. I actually brought this six to a tour I went to, local I went to with Jay back in October before this six became a thing, like an official thing. My version of the team was not as good as this one. This has the Tailwind, Haze, Terra Fairy, Dragonite we were mentioning before. This goes with the Stellar Terra, Sneasler, Amoonguss, and Incin are your balanced backbone. And again, it's just a really great balanced team where you have a lot of great offense. Sneasler, Dragonite play really, really well next to each other. Blood Moon plays well next to all of these Pokemon. Amoonguss Goldango is always an awesome lead. The Amoonguss Incin, Blood Moon allow you to play in Trick Room. Haze is awesome at getting rid of a lot of the setup stuff, especially the stuff that we're seeing later in the format. The one thing that is really difficult with the Dragonite when you're only running the Scale Shot is that you do get walled out by any other Fairy-type Pokemon. Yeah, one of the other cool things here is Terra Psychic on Amoonguss. We saw some weird Terras on Amoonguss, Psychic, Electric. Just like, again, weird Terra types to just make sure that, like, you just got good defenses in those scenarios.
Yeah, the defensive Terras were much more important in H than they are right now in other formats.
Yeah.
Just because the power level is lower in this format, so making sure that you lived more, like, the more you lived, the better off you were going to be. So having things like the Psychic Terra or the Electric Terra or whatever ends up making it so it's like your Amoonguss lives more hits than it probably should be.
Yeah. No, this is over, like, again, I think going into this is probably or at least a similar six of what I would be hopping into. This is like my jam. I mean, in general with my group, and we'll get to that team probably. Actually, we'll do that team next. But seeing Amoonguss, Incin, Goldango, and a bear, just like does something to like the brains of the VGC Cats group. Specifically, in my opinion, slightly biased, but also the results back it up. One of the most talented Ursaluna P2 players in the entire world. If it's Anthony Lonergan, Tony T, and the T stands for totally forgot what Reg H was because he was crashing out when we told him we were playing Reg H again. So this isn't fully. So Tony was the one who piloted to insane results in Regulation H, along with June Lintner, who was the creator of this six, especially the Mienshao tech. She was the first one to use that back in LAIC, where she finished top 64. So shout out to June, who was being very sassy on call on Friday. And what point are we at? Like an hour? I'm gonna tell her that she has to start listening from this point. So to make sure that she hears, I'm giving her a shout out and love that she created this six and tested it and did very well at majors, including a top 64 at LAIC. We're just using Tony's because that's the first one to pop up when I looked at the Toronto results. Actually, I do like, so the entire basis of this team is to actually back it up a little further. It was really inspired by the Iwafuji team, which was P2, Amoonguss, Incin, Goldango, with Landers Incarnate and Roaring Uwoon back in Regulation F that June used to finish top 16 at, I believe, either Charlotte or Orlando. Believe it was Charlotte 2024. I believe is where she top 16 with that. And so like the group had a lot of experience specifically with Goldango, Incin, Amoonguss P2. Ursaluna just fits in perfectly with it. We're using Substitute as just a way to really punish your opponent's passive turns. They want to double protect in front of you to burn a turn of Trick Room. Well, I'm going to Substitute, and now you have to hit me more than once. You already hit me more than once, but you now have to hit me an extra time while I'm just clicking Facade and Headlong Rush. and just rolling through your entire team one by one by one by one.
Yep.
Again, going back to what we're saying, these weird Terra types, the Terra Electric makes it so that you're only weak to ground, which we do have some other overlapping ground weaknesses, but the group really wanted something that would be great into it would be neutral into most types defensively for Amoonguss, while also resisting flying was something that they really wanted. So electric made a lot of sense. The Terra fighting on Porygon 2 is, as we said, one of the standards. This iteration of the team has Terra Ghost, but earlier iterations actually had Terra Flying on Ursaluna. I believe in Louisville, Keon, Junie, and Anthony were the only 3 people playing the Flying Terra on Ursaluna, which ended up being an unbelievable call because during that tournament you had a lot of misty terrain at that point in the metagame, and they just happened. They weren't even thinking of it. They were just trying to like dodge Garchomp Earthquakes, and then it's like,
and instead you metagame yourself into where you can still get your burn.
Exactly. The Mienshao spot has changed a handful of times. Mainly, if it wasn't Mienshao, it was Flamigo. Really, the Mienshao is here. It gets rid of terrain, which can be really annoying. You really need your Fake Out to put out to make sure that you can set up your Trick Room, get your Flame Orb boost, get your Nasty Plot off. So Ice Spinner getting rid of Psychic Terrain is really, really useful. Knockoff is unbelievable into a meta where almost every Pokemon feels.
I'm about to say all the items are super important. So.
Yes. And Stellar Close Combat is unbelievable. Stellar Terra is the best Terra for Mienshao because in the grand scheme of things, you're not getting more than 1 or 2 hits off.
You're getting one.
Yeah.
For sure, one.
So being able to get your close combat boost, and also if you can get like a Stellar Terra Ice Spinner or Stellar Terra knockoff boost as well, the Mienshao can actually be a really good offensive threat. The base attack of this Pokemon is, give me a second, I should know this off the top of my head, 125.
It's in the 120s. I remember that much.
125, 105 speed. It's really fast. Wide Guard's just another good tech to make sure that, like, again, stop the earthquakes. It gives Ursaluna a safe Pokemon to Earthquake next to. Well, we aren't running Earthquake on this version, but when we had Earthquake, that was something that was done. But again, like stopping moves like Muddy Water, stopping Icy Wind, Electro Web, Make It Rain. Like there are a decent bit of spread moves in the format, so having a no button, really awesome. That's kind of like what it feels like to click Wide Guard. But yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, this 6 outside of the Mienshao spot really didn't change all format, and the group just had continuous success with this 6, where it was Instant, Ursa, P2, Amoonguss, Goldingo fighting type the entire time amongst multiple players. Not to just continue to like say to everyone my friends are all hot and talented and intelligent, but they all are. And if you are like a balanced player who likes leaning more Trick Room, give this 6 a spin. It's just really, really awesome. You're going to have a fun time. I believe Tony actually wrote a team report about this that was on Victory Road. I'll send you the link and we can put that in the
we'll throw it in
the show notes. So yeah, so if you want to like learn more about this team, read the article. It's a great read. Tony's an unbelievable writer. And yeah, so support your fellow New Englanders. Let's go. We have 3 more teams left. Let's go with this is a team that we started seeing again. Another
balance. This is what I'm familiar with because I played with this most of the 6 a lot.
Yep.
This is very big on the Volcarona, Rillaboom, King Gambit like core.
Yeah. This is like a double setup core. You have the Terra Dark, Black Glasses, Double Dark Sword Stance, King Gambit. This is a coaching Sneasler, which is super useful. Coaching works unbelievable next to Dragonite, King Gambit, and Rillaboom. And also the Volcarona to just get those defensive boosts. We just learned yet again from this format with the Electric Seed Volcarona that a Quiver Dance with a defense boost, where
it's really, really good. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's awesome. I really think that the Volcarona, with this Terra Fairy, Terra Blast, Quiver Dance Volcarona is really propped well into the metagame. Being able to get a Quiver Dance or two up to pretty much outspeed the format. There's a lot of Dragon types in the format, and there's a lot of Steel types in the format. So being a Fairy type with being a Fairy type with a Stab Fairy move to punish Dragonite, Dragapult, be neutral into Arch, the Garchomps that'll pop up as well. All of these, like the Baxcaliburs that'll appear. All these dragons don't like taking this Terra Fairy, Terra Blast. And for all the Steel types, well, they're going to eat a Heat Wave.
Yeah.
Unless the Mienshow's next to them and they click Wide Guard.
Yeah, and they click Wide Guard, but at that point, it's whatever.
Yeah.
My problem with this team always was just like we didn't have great speed control options. We were always kind of just like trying to find like good ways to put speed control. You could either like play like Haze and Electro Web, but that never felt great. Tailwind didn't really do a whole lot for this team either. Which because everything is like in the middle, so the Tailwind teams are already faster than you most of the time, and you're not quite slow enough for like Trick Room to be a viable strategy. So you kind of just try to outbulk them and just set up and just punch them harder. That's kind of just the goal.
The Sneasler does have some good natural bulk. I'm not natural bulk, natural speed, not bulk, speed. And you do have
like, you are like you were clicking coaching a lot of the time with this Pokemon because you wanted the
boost on the
boost
other
on your Kingambit or your Rillaboom or your Dragonite or your Volcarona or something.
You also, between Sucker, E-Speed, and Grassy Glide, you
have a lot of priority, and so that's why it's just like you just try to outdamage them before they can hit you.
I think maybe one of the differences, and like there's two things I would have thought of with this team if you want to like add speed control somewhere. Now, I don't know the calc, so I don't know how important the Thunderbolt is on the Electabuzz if there's a certain thing you're picking up. Could be webs. One of the other things
that was what we tried. Like I tried it a lot, and it just you can't webs and haze. Like that was the big thing. Is like a lot of your speed with webs is your Dragonite wants to be able to haze away. Like buffs from your opponent, so your damage goes through, and so you just kind of haze away all your speed drops you just put on them.
Yep,
that was a lot of the clashing.
And then there's another version, or at least another like Rillaboom has a move that we'll probably talk to, not the next team, but the team after.
Drum beating.
Yep, we will be talking about the drum beating soon. But yeah, overall, I think this is just a really solid balanced team. The setup is really, really great as a balance breaker, and you do have it's just like a good 6 with good mons that as long as like you can get your setup, you can play well into other teams, and just have like solid matchups against most of the metagame.
Yeah.
Another iteration of this Sword Stance Kingambit. This one takes a few pieces from different teams that we've seen. This is Benny Vasquez's team. He finished.
This is the one that feels kind of hodgepodgey.
I think what this is really nice for is that you're going with the Magmar as a so you're adding redirection. You have a Water Fire Grasp between the Magmar, Rilla, and the Choice Scarf Adaptability, Terra Fighting, Bastia Legion. This is another great way to hit Steel types.
That was the fun one. Is just the Choice Scarf, Terra Fighting, Adaptability, Terra Blast. Remember all them Steel types we said were real popular?
Yeah. You turn your Bastia Legion into one of those like Chinese like fighting fish, where like it's just angry all the time, which is fitting because it was the Bastia Legion. It's like all like it evolves. Like I think the lore is it's so angry it died, or maybe that's
Annihilate.
That's Annihilate. No, it's all its dead friends. Is like
you have to take X amount of damage and recoil without dying.
Which is just weird Pokemon lore. Bastia Legion, I think, is another Pokemon that could be like, especially this Choice Scarf Adaptability Basque is another Mon that I feel like can be a little more splashable. There really isn't a lot of splashable water types, so Bastia Legion could be an option here. You have the Fake Out, Protect, and Sneasler for your double protect, and this is an offensive Ninetales with Encore, Freeze, Dry, Blizzard. With the Life Orb, your weather is just so that you can hit your accurate blizzards, and also just disrupt the other weathers in the meta.
You also get the defense boost, so...
Yeah, you also get a defense boost. Forgot about that. That's a new one. Well, I'm not that new, but still new to me. And there's so many grass types, ground types, and dragon types in this format. Offensive ice coverage is really, really great. However, if you are using the Ninetales, you do need an item like Life Orb, or at least Icicle Plate, something like that, to like boost up the damage.
You need a little bit of help, not a lot of help, but a little bit.
Yeah, you aren't like if you don't have an offensive boosting item on your Ninetales, it's not going to pick up the KOs. You need that boost to pick it up. One of the other reasons why you aren't seeing you're seeing ice coverage instead of fairy coverage is that in the grand scheme of things, the ice coverage just like it hits more mons than the fairy coverage.
I was about to say, like, here's the thought process. It's just like, what's fairy going to hit that ice isn't, like, you already want to hit with Blizzard? Like, the dragon types that you care about are Dragonite, which takes 4 times from the ice anyway. Archaludon, which isn't weak to either of them. It's neutral.
Yep, it's neutral. Garchomp's times 4.
Garchomp's times 4 to ice, so it's just like, why do you need this fairy coverage?
I think the only that, and it's like in terms of dark types, all of the dark types in this format, or at least the main dark types, mainly Gambit and Incin, are neutral.
They're neutral to fairy anyway, so it's just like.
And also, like, they both mess you up, so you don't really.
Yeah, you don't want to sit in front of them
anyway. Yeah. Overall, I think this is a really neat team. Again, the classic balance of the fire, water, grass. You have a setup mode. You have double fake out, and then you have an immediate offensive mon and Basket Legion, and just a really great meta call and tech in this Ninetales.
Yep.
Now, Ninetales we're going to see for the last time. This is the last thing we're going to see. This is the Tang team. Now, they were working on this team the Justin Tang group was working on this team for a few moments in the format. It's gone through a few iterations. I know June played Justin at LAIC, and she mentioned that it was Cantonian Arcanine. And then Anthony actually played against this team twice. I believe it was Justin who... No, it wasn't Justin who knocked him out, but I know he lost to Justin. He beat this team on day 1, and then lost to this team on day 2. I don't think it was against Justin at Toronto, where he lost day 2. Might have been against Justin, like a Swiss round on day 2. This is a max speed, jolly drum beating Rillaboom.
Yep.
And what drum beating does, if you don't know, is whatever Pokemon it hits, it deals it gets -1 speed. It's Rillaboom's signature move. You usually don't see it because Woodhammer just does so much damage, but they decided to go with that little bit of speed control.
This is the team for the long game.
Yeah. You have coaching options. Again, the Dragonite, Rilla, and Arcanine all love getting coaching boosts. The White Herb really works well with Unburden because you can you can either take an Intimidate, get the Unburden proc, or you can proc your own Unburden by clicking Close Combat, erasing your defense drops, and getting the speed there. Yep. Dragonite here isn't running Haze because you have so many coaching boosts. You're just running Tailwind and a coverage move.
Which in this case is Stomping Tantrum.
Yep. Ninetales here is Sash to make sure that it gets its Veil up. While we are playing a little bit for the long game, by the time your Aurora Veil goes down, you should have enough boosts to just clean everything up anyways. And I think the main star of the game right here is this Grassy Seed Goldango. This is like the first time we're like, oh yeah, the seed items, maybe they're more than just proccing like Unburden.
Yeah.
What Grassy Seed does is it makes it so that like knockoff does nothing into it. You get the +1 and it eats the item slot. So against like the knockoff Incins, like any other knockoff mon, you aren't forced to Terra in front of it. And again, saving that Terra for something else is really great. In general, just having your Goldango be bulky at +1 makes it so much easier with the Intimidate support, with the screen support, you get that 1 or 2 boosts up, and you can just sweep away just with Goldango.
Yeah.
We've seen this, not in the restricted formats, but in the non-restricted formats. We've seen matches where the Goldango just gets up 2 nasty plots and says, okay, I win.
Start melting. Just click the make it rain twice. Just print money. Don't worry. Don't buy me.
This is a really neat team built by a group of players who are very talented. I believe, if I pull this up, I believe Justin came in 10th, and then there were 2 other people who made top cut or like just missed top cut using this 6 as well. The Tangs, we've seen it we saw it in Regulation G with their early meta, like Regulation G Part 2 with I believe it was their San Antonio team. This is one of the most influential groups in team building groups in North America right now in terms of what they're putting out. This is another 6 I wouldn't be shocked to see come up in early Regulation H, and definitely something that, again, if you either want to try it out or at least have some game plans into it.
Yeah.
So those are the 12 teams that I put together. Again, my Regulation H time period, I didn't do as well in it. Actually, I think it's the only regulation last year I didn't get any points in at the locals I went to. Also, thinking back at it, I got married.
Yeah, you were
during Reg H. I was a wee bit busy. A few of the teams times I built teams. I was telling Junie there was one team where it was a challenge in Pawtucket, and I was working in Providence. I didn't have time at home or anything to build a team, so I brought my Switch to work with me, and I was in the cafeteria at lunch on my break, EV training my mons, and I just went in my box. I was like, these 6 work together. Let me just tweak something.
Let me just throw these together.
Yeah. So looking back at it, I do feel like there's a lot of really, really interesting teams. Again, every single weather setter is good. There's 6 different redirection mons, and we aren't even mentioning Clefable was popping up as a redirection mon as well. There's a ton of different redirection. All of the dragons are good. Dragons are fun. They're awesome Pokemon. It's a very, very fun format, and I think we don't know when we're going to have this end date for it, but at least for the first 2 months.
I would imagine it's probably either the 1st of November or the end of November. Those are the only 2 options. There's no.
I want to say it would be, my guess it's going to be end of November, because we know LAIC is in November, and I'd be a little shocked if they just play the format for 2 months and then did something else.
Yeah.
And what we're going to get after Regulation H, are they going to do a new regulation for us? Probably not. We'll probably just be playing old formats for the rest. We'll
probably be playing old formats till they can get champions out the door.
Yeah. And of course, we'll probably get news on champions in 2 weeks. I'm guessing we'll get something else on it when we hear about finals for Worlds, which will be closing ceremonies will be August 17th.
They may not give us anything concrete, release date or anything like that.
I think if anything,
imagine with the direct with the presents we got being so close to actual Worlds, not much is going to change in a month. Not much is going to change in that month between the presents and closing ceremonies. Yeah. I would be surprised if they're just here's everything you need to know about champions that we didn't tell you a month ago when we could have told you a month ago.
Yeah.
But they have other things that they'll want to cover in
more TCG.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I'm excited to actually dive back into this, actually give myself some time during local play. I sadly won't be able to go to any regionals with this format, but
I don't plan on going to events until next year. My wallet won't let me.
That's pretty much where I'm at. We don't know where the December, if we get a December regional, where that's going to be. But I'd say earliest I'm looking at is I might pull off Toronto, depending on what else is going on in my insanely crazy life.
Yeah.
But we'll get there when we get there. At least locals wise, it's going to be really fun for people to be going to locals again. And again, trying out all these different Pokemon. Like, there's so many really cool Pokemon you can use in this format. It's not just like Miraidon and Miraidon's best friends, or Koraidon, or CSR Zama stuff. Like, you could get weird, like get creative, enjoy it while you can now.
Because we probably won't have it for very long.
Exactly. Going over the future in the next couple of weeks. Next week we'll be doing our final Worlds preview.
Yep, getting ready for Worlds.
Yeah, final Worlds preview. I'd say the 17th will be, because Worlds is actually going to be on the continental US, which means we'll actually get to watch like the finals at a normal time this year and not be like trying to predict what's going to happen, because finals doesn't air until 11 o'clock Eastern.
Right.
And I'd say like the 24th, we're probably diving in with our updated Regulation H tier list.
Yeah.
So yeah, be ready.
Sounds correct.
Yeah, be ready. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to this.
It should be fun.
Yeah. So do you have anything else?
I'm currently playing Pokemon Friends because I forgot to do it this morning. And if you don't play this game, I highly recommend it. It's fun. It's fun little puzzles. If you've ever played like the Train Your Brain games for like the DS or whatnot, it's a lot of fun. Right now I'm doing this Greninja puzzle cutting thing.
Yeah.
Which it's going to be hard to see because the screen's awful. But it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. It's free on iOS and Google Play Store. If you haven't downloaded it and want to try it, you don't have to pay for it. There is a paid version, I guess, through like the Switch.
Yeah, I know Dad said he spent the $10 on it and he said it was worth it.
I haven't played the Switch version, so I wouldn't know.
Dad said it was worth it. If you have kids, it's a great family friendly game, is from what I've heard.
Yeah, I can see that. Like when, like you want them to be probably just old enough to like where they understand the puzzles. Yeah. My daughter is not quite old enough to understand this yet. She does a very good job of opening my Pokemon packs though for Pocket.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, my wife does that. Pulled a shiny Glaceon today, a Glaceon EX. So great pull. The Wisdom of Sea and Sound.
That's what we'll be seeing. But
yeah, we can see it.
There's
look at the Pokemon dolls.
I got an Ogerpon and
got the what was it, Bulbasaur, Eevee, Squirtle, Pika, Jumpluff. Talked about Jumpluff today.
Yeah, talked about Jumpluff today. Got a Grookey. So yeah, it's fun. You can do like little quests to help people too with like they're looking for a specific plush or a specific type of plush, and you give it away and it helps the town. And it's got a cute little story like stuff like that.
It's nice.
But
okay, you have anything else?
No, that's it. I'm good.
Let's get out of here. So thank you very much for listening, everyone. You can find this episode on YouTube or on all podcatchers, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the like. You can also find any of our other videos that are posted on our YouTube channel as well that aren't the podcast proper. You can go and find us on social media at Blue Sky. This podcast is at Littleroot Lessons. Carl is at Musical. Carter is at Mr. Missouri 25. And I'm at Rose Tinted Cheeks. You can also follow Carl and Carter at Musical and at Mr. Missouri 25 on Twitch as well. I know that Carter has been very busy, I believe, with an Emerald Kaizo stream that he's been doing for the past month or so. And he's been streaming not every day, but close to it. So at least every other.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Like. It kind of depends on...
Depends on his work schedule.
On his work schedule, because his job is wonky sometimes.
Yeah. But if you want to go follow what he's been doing with his next very hardcore Nuzlocke challenge, follow there. You can join us in the community Discord. We have been talking a little bit of Regulation J. I tried to help, but again, I'm not going to have the experience. Once we get really into Regulation H, there'll probably be a lot of discussion on that, especially when the regionals start popping up for our players as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, just feel free.
That's currently where we're stuck at. Is like, cool, we have Reg H information, but we're stuck in the locals waiting room, unlike everybody else.
At some point, comment on the episode what Pokemon you're looking forward to using again in Regulation H. Mine is Blood Moon Ursaluna because, favorite baby boy.
I'm actually excited to get archaludon back in the format.
Yeah. It's where it's like we're excited for really good Pokemon that were probably statted out enough to do well in the restricted formats, but overall
Archaludon
really
was never gonna make it.
Archaludon wasn't, but Ursaluna had some
regular Ursaluna got to do some stuff. Blood Moon does the spread
it depends on
doesn't do enough.
Yeah. But yeah, this has been really great, and thank you very much, everyone, and have a lovely day.
Bye.